Hi, I'm Bob Bear. Welcome to bestexperts.com. I want to introduce you to somebody very special today. I'd like to introduce you to Sharon Grace. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm great. I met you a few months ago in Los Angeles and then ran into you again today. We've been communicating by email and stuff. You know, we're talking about experts today, and normally, I tend to think that people sometimes choose or think that you should choose your area of expertise, but some people become an expert on something that they may not have chosen to become an expert on. Is that what happened to you?
I think you could say that. Yes. Yes. Based on my own experience.
Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what your area of expertise is.
Well, I'm an author and a speaker, author of When the Trust is Broken, Just When You Think Your Children Are Safe, Think Again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book about overcoming some of the challenges that I went through in my life, the greatest one being the child sexual abuse of my granddaughter. And when this happened, it was a huge awakening, and I decided that parents needed to know the tools to protect their children.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed to talk a little bit more about greater awareness and prevention, and hopefully that someday we can put a stop to this.
Mm-hmm. So you took your own expertise, your own bad experience,
Mm-hmm.
and you've turned it into an expertise to help other people.
Yes, I do believe sometimes turning crisis into opportunity serves others, and since I have been out speaking and I've spoken at universities and different women's organizations and different clubs, everybody knows children. You know, parents, obviously, if you're a parent, you have children. If you're not a parent, you may be a teacher, you may be a daycare worker, you know. All of these different areas, people are involved with children, and if not, they have friends with children or nieces or nephews.
Mm-hmm.
So I think getting the word out about protecting children, more about awareness and what you need to look for. In a perfect world, our children wouldn't be at risk, but we know this is not a perfect world. And child sexual abuse is a violation of trust that can happen anywhere, anytime, to anyone. And it happens every 6 minutes in the United States.
You were motivated, Sharon, to spread the word to help prevent this. What means have you used? What has worked best for you to getting people's attention and to get them to pay attention to your message?
Getting in front of a crowd. I just, I did one presentation back in January, and it was a crowd of about 165 people. And they were kind of in a networking situation, and everybody was kind of talking. And so I just kind of stood up there and held the mic, and my husband was in the audience, and he kept nodding, go ahead. And I just stood there, and I would not speak until everyone was quiet, because I just felt my message was very, very important.
Good.
So,
good for you.
Yeah, I just commanded the attention of everyone. And when I have been in front of audiences, I've had many people call me, email me, come to me, buy my book. Book's gotten into universities, domestic violence classes, and anybody that has anything to do with children. And it's just kind of escalated.
So you mentioned two ways of spreading your message. One is with public speaking, and the other is with your book. How did you get the public speaking engagements?
I started out working some of the clubs, the Kiwanis clubs and the Rotaries, and some of the organizations, nonprofit organizations. I also had some help with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, New York branch. I do a lot of fundraisers. One of the greatest things that happened is we have a local advocacy center in Rochester, and I was asked to speak at the fundraiser. I spoke for 7 minutes, and my message raised over $25,000.
Right.
So I just kind of thought then that was, and so I just started talking to people, and mostly through networking.
Okay. So networking and meeting people.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was also important.
People sometimes, when you talk about child sexual abuse, they're kind of standoffish. And as I said, either you're a parent or you know somebody that has a child. I kind of umbrellaed it under domestic violence, because it's really a great widespread issue today. and then kind of soften it, with the child sexual abuse. It kind of gets people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of women who are maybe single women raising children, they want to be aware and they want the tools to prevent the abuse.
How has having a book helped you in spreading your message?
It's great because when people buy the book, I get a lot of feedback that it's definitely helped them. I had one fantastic testimonial which made everything worth it. I ran into this lady at a business meeting, and she told me that she had heard I wrote a book. Her daughter disclosed to her that she had been sexually abused by her grandfather for several years. And she said she got a hold of my book, and she sat there and read it in one night, put the book on the coffee table, and called the sheriffs. So she immediately took action.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that through reading the book, it gave her the courage to stand up in court, not only against him, but to fight for her daughter. And she said she could never thank me enough. Mm-hmm. So when I hear stories like that, it just makes it all worth it.
So one of the main good things that you're being able to do, not only with your speaking but with your book, is educating people to give them the knowledge of what to do.
Exactly. And by giving them knowledge is power, and by giving them knowledge, they can empower their own children so that their children can be aware. And I think when a child is more aware, it's less likely to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think I can save a lot of children from being sexually abused.
Have you had any interviews on radio stations?
I have. I've done several radio stations. Radio is great because it's basically through the phone. You can do it at home. Mm-hmm. And I usually send a press kit with questions. And I've been on as long as an hour. And yeah, I've had people calling in. And that's a great media tool to reach a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. What about online? Do you do anything online?
I'm just starting now. I just created an ebook with
Mm-hmm.
25 tips for parents on the prevention of child sexual abuse. And I do, the Twitter, the Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
the social media pieces as often as I can. I have a Facebook page called Protect All Children, and that's gotten a lot of feedback as well.
Mm-hmm. Were you new to social media and online activities when you started it?
Yes, I was in a completely different industry, and it was all customer service face-to-face. Mm-hmm. I really actually self-taught myself on the computer and the social media. And along the way, I met some people and connected with some great people who were technology gurus who mm-hmm. kind of set the stage for me.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it's just a big combination of a whole variety of ways that you're using to spread the message.
I think having passion, Bob, when people hear the passion that, we have to get this message out there. As I said, every 6 minutes a child is sexually abused. 90% of the time, the victims know their abusers. It's someone they know, love, or trust. So it could be a family member, it could be the bus driver, it could be the coach, it could be the priest, it could be the doctor. I mean, the list goes on and on. So we need to be vigilant of our surroundings and know where our children are and who they're with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear kids yelling in the background. We're out by a pool, by the hotel, and I remember when I was young that kids just disappeared. They went and played all day. You didn't know where they were, and it was no big deal. But it is a big deal now, isn't it?
It is a very big deal because it's happening. I mean, the predators are lurking all around, and most predators today. People ask me, what do they look like? What does a sex offender look like? And I usually say a very normal person, someone you'd see in the grocery store, sitting next to you in church, at the post office. I mean, they're just normal looking people. And it's men and it's women. And in some sad cases, it's young adults. Mm-hmm. So we used to teach our children stranger danger. Don't get in the car with a stranger. And if you hear somebody somebody comes after you, just yell fire and run the other way. And today, children need to be so much more educated. I think by communication, mm-hmm. With your children, not, just, hi, how'd things go? Or how's everything? Fine. The usual short answers. Ask children questions, open-ended questions. How was your day? What was the best thing that happened to you today? Who made you feel the best and who made you feel the worst? Did something great happen? Did something bad happen? I think when parents establish a great open line of communication, even in their busy lives, I think children will take more of an interest to open up to them.
Sharon, how can our viewers get a hold of you if they have more questions?
my website, www.sharongrace.com. And my email is speaker@sharongrace.com. And either one of those, and they can reach me
And they can find out about your
find out
ebook
my
and your
ebook
book.
and my book. My book is also on my website as well. It's also
Okay.
sold through Morgan James Publishing.
Great. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for
Enjoyed it.
having me.